Unsyndicated presents Off the Air with Sean Baligian.
All right, listen to me and listen to me good. This show has turned into almost like a soap opera, okay? I didn't mean it to happen this way, but it's kind of turned into a soap opera. So, what I'm going to do right now, his face may not show it right now, but it's been another harrowing day for my friend Blake.
I can't win.
Well, you know what? I'm going to help you forget about it, okay? Can I help you forget about it?
Yeah, I would love that.
Do you know what this morning felt like, pal?
For you or for me?
It felt like a college football morning, didn't it? Come on.
I mean, maybe for you. For me, my whole yard was under feet of
Forget about
water.
that. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. But you got that little chill in the air. You're like, okay, what useless ACC game is going to be on at noon, right? You're sitting there. See, Coach Hunter already cares about you. Blake, did you turn your heat on today? So you're sitting there thinking to yourself, what useless college football game is going to be on? Useless ACC game.
There's no such thing as a useless college football game. They're all useful to me.
Well, they are all useful. That's true. But some of those ACC games are just bad at noon, right?
I will tune into Virginia and North Carolina State until the day I die.
Oh, I'm going to watch it too, Punny Bunch. But that's my point.
Oh, we're doing
Which useless game am I going to have on? And then, maybe you search around and you go, oh, wow, I didn't even know what this channel is, but there's some other useless game on there.
The CW has college football. Who knew?
Right. And then, maybe Notre Dame has a game on.
They're going to lose because it's a big game. They'll lose.
Maybe Notre Dame has a game on it at 2:30. Then, your Michigan Wolverines are on or Michigan State's on. Maybe there's a night game. It really was that type of day today. I didn't mind it at all. You put on the little coat. I did drive by my favorite cider mill and weep, though, and ask why it's betrayed me and why won't it come back to me. I did do that because it's just too much pain right now would be the way that I have, right? This is where, when you're at that, okay, we got 89 days to go, you think it's close, but it's really not close. But before we get to some bad things, okay? And Nick agrees with me. Yep, was feeling fall today, thinking all about it. Can you at least give me that, pal? That today had a little fall feel, and maybe, just maybe, you got a chance to at least have some fall vibes.
I didn't feel fall vibes. No, it's so humid over by me. I don't know if it's like terribly humid over by you, but by me today it was miserable over here. Miserable.
I was in the college football and then football mood all day.
You know what I did watch?
What did you watch
last night? So it was like one of those YouTube compilations, like top 10 games of the 23 season. And number 10 was the Notre Dame Ohio State game.
Yes.
I forgot.
I was texting with you that night, friend. You and I were texting each other.
I know, but I forgot how bad Ohio State played in that game. They should have lost that game like 10 times over.
Absolutely.
Notre Dame.
No doubt about it. No
10
doubt
men
about
on the
it.
field. And then
that
you got
was awful.
Born on Third yelling about Lou Holtz. Oh, that was an all-time game. I loved that game.
So then as I was driving back from the Memorial Day festivities, and by the way, total tip of the cap to everybody who served, we drove by the old high school football field, and then I was thinking to myself, okay, this is like a fall Friday night to me. Like I was getting that serious vibe. Yeah, and you know the Friday night I'm talking about, Blake, where
Yes.
it's kind of misty outside. It's not really raining, but it's not really dry, and it's not really warm, but it's not really cold. That's what it kind of was this afternoon. It was kind of like that 64, 65-degree type thing, and I'm going, gosh damn, who's Northville playing tonight? As we're driving by the field and everything. It's just one of those days. And I'm trying really hard to put you in a better mood because I know it hasn't been a good day for my slugger. And that's all. Okay. I'm trying right now.
No, it's happened. What happened to me today has happened no less than 5 times since I moved into this house. So I don't even get mad anymore. I just laugh.
All right. So Nick is in a bad mood. He said, not to mention, I have not seen a Tigers game in weeks because of Xfinity. Of course, football was on the mind. And Tigers took 3 out of 4 and actually scored some runs, right? Rich
Tacos
said
on
I
the
threw down.
blacks.
Ooh, doesn't that sound good?
It
Right?
does,
And
the Blackstone is so like it can do everything. It's
it
incredible.
really can. It's a very impressive it's an impressive machine. Kirk said shirts and a hoodie and football feeling weather, no doubt. And we're gonna be at a high school game very soon type of vibe. You know what I mean, Coach Hunter? But Blake, what were you upset about? Because this is something that all of us can relate to. And this is something, this is not a laughing matter because I'm the type of person, I'll tell my story for people out there that don't remember. I like the only way I was going to successfully navigate this calamity was if I just turned myself off a few years ago. So I'm going to let you tell everybody what happened.
So I'm in Clinton Township. I'm right by the river. And because I'm so close to the river, when it rains, and I don't know if you got the rain out by you as bad as we did over here, but we got like over 2 inches of rain.
Like
And
that
in
much. Holy shoot.
Yeah, we got a lot. And when it rains like that, there's nowhere for it to go because the ground is like already saturated. So my yard probably had a good 6 to 8 inches of water in like the
Oh,
low spots in it. And my garage completely flooded. There's like good 4 to 6 in there. Luckily, like I said, I've been through it so many times. Like I have nothing on the ground in the garage. Everything's up on blocks, like lifted up. So nothing got ruined. But yeah, I mean, I'm still pumping water out of my backyard, trying to get it to drain as much as possible because we're supposed to get more rain tomorrow. So I'm like,
dude,
it's so bad.
I'm not
It's
even see.
horrible.
Listen, and Rich is right there with you. Damn, man, that sucks. That's something any homeowner, like we can have fun with the little air conditioning game and stuff like that. Dude, the flooding is just insane. It's, I don't know if I ever told you this. Okay, so we've had like 3 or 4 storms that our local people tried to tell us were, oh, there's nothing could be done. It's a once in a
That
century
one last
storm.
summer when like all the freeways got shut down. Remember that one?
So there have been like 3 of those in the last 10 years. So if we're being honest, right? There have been like 3 of those. There was the one last summer. Then I think there was one a couple summers before. And then there was the one, I want to say it was 2015. Maybe it was 2014. And it just so happens, everybody was talking. We happened to be in Toronto over the weekend. And we were in Toronto, went and saw Jay's game, went up to Canada's Wonderland, all that stuff, right? And we heard about all this big storm and everything. And I got home and I guess our whatever it's called, what's the sump
Sump pump?
pump?
Yeah.
Like
Failed.
it just yeah. And I'm not joking, there was probably a foot of water in my entire basement. And unlike you, I did not have things on blocks and safe and stuff like that. I
Luckily, like
used
go ahead, sorry.
no, I used to have a very, very, very extensive collection of cards. I still have many, many good cards. And all of my, to be honest with you, all of my great cards were kind of put up, but I had so many cards ruined. Like you legitimately have to turn yourself off or you're going to go nuts.
Yeah.
And I did. I went into robot mode and I was like, I've just got, and so many like really cool memorabilia stuff that meant something to me. Like Blake, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I turned myself off, and even my wife was like, I cannot believe how well you're handling this. And I said, this is one of those, there's absolutely nothing I can do scenarios.
No.
Sometimes, if there's something you can do, you end up losing. But I just turned myself off and I was like, okay, I have to clean this up. I have to throw this all away. The emergency people are going to come over and do their business and all that stuff. I just have to concentrate on getting this. I threw so many heirlooms and wonderful things out, and like Blake, honestly, I just made myself never think about it again. Like,
Yeah.
and that's so, all jokes aside, dude, like that's something you don't I was about to swear. You don't screw around with that. Everybody's been through that. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry, pal. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, luckily the garage is detached, and everything that floods, like, it's in the backyard. So the house is fine. The driveway was flooded a little bit, like up
Yeah.
to the door, but the house and everything is fine. The sump pump on the front side of the house was working overtime, but I can hear it from the living room when it starts running. So that's how I'm like, oh, I know it's working.
So did Rich said, have you looked into or thought about getting one of those French drains in the yard? Have you heard
So
about that? Do you know anything about it?
the issue is like the real bad flooding is in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So to get it all the way to the front, and the street out front also floods, because if you want me to be frank with you, Macomb County for whatever reason just doesn't take care of stuff like
Yeah.
that. So like
Yeah.
there should be a drain in my backyard, like 100%. I shouldn't even have to be dealing with this. There should be a drain, because it's not just my yard, it's all of my neighbors' yards, but it all collects. My yard is the low point for like 6 houses back here. And I've called the county multiple times because I'm pretty sure there is a drain somewhere in someone's backyard and it's covered up. But I've called the county multiple times. The city can't do anything because all the drains in my area are county drains. It's a freaking joke. It's so
I'm
bad.
sorry. I'm sorry,
So
pal.
it's just one of those things we deal with. I just wish, and I know a good realtor like our friend Lindsay would have disclosed something like this when the house was purchased, but it was not disclosed to me that there was a flooding issue in this area, or a different decision might have been made. But a good realtor like Lindsay Broadwell would have done that for me.
I am really sorry about that, Blake, and I'm going to tell you about Lindsay in just a second, as a matter of fact. But I am really sorry about that, because that is, as Ben said, man, that's the worst. I can feel the quiet, murderous rage. Honestly, really and truly, I don't know if there's anything worse than that. I'm serious. At being a homeowner for 3,022 years now. I don't know if there's anything worse. That I had 2 floods of my basement. One was then the other one while we were away was just awful. It was, like I said, I mean, I'm not joking. There was a foot all around my basement, and you just I don't know how to explain it. You shut yourself off. Like that's
Yeah.
that's all you can do. You just
Yeah. When we moved in here, the first time it happened, I was like super upset because I didn't know and I didn't have stuff off the ground. But now, legitimately in the garage, I do not have a
No,
thing on the
hell no.
ground. Everything
No.
is at least like 6 inches above. So
Yeah. Brett said, I lost my whole sports collection, all my Star Wars collection, all my video game collections. I feel so bad. It's hard, but you are right. You have to detach yourself from it. 100%. You just you turn yourself off. Like that sucks. What am I going to do? Sit there and cry about it?
yeah,
Oh my
and you
gosh,
just
my
gotta be
life.
thankful that you're okay. Like, you can
Yeah.
replace stuff, can't
Yeah.
replace people. You know?
seriously, I think it was from my 1976 to 1986, tops hockey and baseball, all the sets were ruined, all of them, for 10 years, all of them.
It's the
When I
worst.
think about it, I can start to feel my blood pressure go up, but even I'm not joking, even 10 years later, it's just that really sucks,
Yep.
But what do you do? There ain't nothing I can do about it. All right, can I tell you about Lindsay Broadwell? Because I bet you, to Blake's point, she looks out for things like this and knows the history of the home. When it's time to buy, sell, both, you need to contact the right agent. That one right there, Lindsay Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up here on the main streets of Northville and has expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan. She's an expert in all facets of the business, and when it's time to move, our friend Lindsay and her team will make sure you get the most out of your home and everything goes smoothly when finding a new one. Buyer, seller, first-time buyer, doesn't matter. Make sure you contact Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. She will help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor and Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. Oh, look
Yeah,
at our
so
buddy Dave Rieger said. Look at Rieger chimed in. See what a nice human Dave Rieger is?
that's true. So yeah, in
Remember,
the last
water
20
always wins. That's why there's a Grand Canyon. Glenn Hagee. Yes.
in the last 24 hours at my house, we've gotten 1.8 inches, and in the next 24 hours, we're expected another quarter inch.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Wow,
but
that's pretty cool.
I've been literally pumping the backyard since 9 this morning, and I just got it to a manageable level, right before we did this.
Dude.
Yeah.
This is one of your ask your neighbors type of thing, right? Is there some kind of fix or something? Where's rest his soul, Glenn Hagee? That's the kind of stuff he
The
could
thing
tell you
is
about.
say if I I could put a bunch of dirt in the backyard, raise that level up, but then I'm just pushing water towards the house at that point.
Right.
So I'd rather have it in the back where at least my house is safe. I mean, but my biggest fix would I would have to tear down my garage and redo it because there's no foundation on the garage. It's just on a slab. And then my garage would at least be okay. But
Poop.
it again, not worth it. I'll just disclose it when I sell it.
See,
Because this
that's
ain't a
why.
forever home.
Do you like how I did that though? I tried to talk happy to. I
No,
thought
I
I could still
appreciate
talk
it.
some
No.
college football, right?
Yeah.
That's
50
the good
days until the game comes out. That's my first step in the
well,
right direction.
that's see, I like how you're thinking positives right now, Slugger.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, right?
That's what we're hey, like I said.
89 days until week 0. How's that? 89 days. You can make it. You can do it, Blakey.
I can. It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Eric said I needed to throw at least 4 garbage bags worth of Red Wing VHS away. Oh, Nick said sandbagging is the biggest waste of time when we are expecting flood. Brett said the only thing they can do is clean the storm drains city-wise, but that isn't an answer either. Oh, dude. Ay, ay, ay. I'm sorry. Can we, anything, buddy? Can we do anything for you?
Yeah, let's just call Macomb County and bitch at them. It's their fault.
That usually accomplishes a lot, as you know.
Yeah, exactly.
That accomplishes.
I think I've called them 3 times. Nothing.
Look what Rieger said. Poured or block basement, Blake. Now Rieger might be a guy that might have some answers to this.
The basement's good. It's the garage, which is detached, and that's just on a cement pad. It doesn't have a proper foundation at all.
I did a show with Candace Miller, Dave, when I was hosting the morning show one day. By the way, Blake comes to us courtesy of AM 760 WJR Mitch Album Show and, of course, sports wrap. Blake, can I bring up to you, and this is something many of you can probably relate to, okay? Especially older in age. And I talk a lot about the sports plate, right? I was having a conversation with legitimately my oldest friend. He's like legitimately my oldest friend. We were talking this morning, and for some reason I had like this memory of when we were kids, and I texted him, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, dude, I totally remember that." And we were going back and forth and everything. Are there events that you used to watch that you were like way into that like you almost go, "How did I do that? Why was I into that?" Like I was such a sports nerd when I was a kid. I mean, obviously I still am. But let me give you like the Indy 500. I would sit there and watch the entire Indy 500. Like, did you do that when you were a kid, Blake?
Not the Indy, no, but there was like a phase where my family was into NASCAR of all things, and I remember them watching the Daytona 500 a few years in a row.
Could I interest your family in some discounted VIP passes to the Baligian 4 double lot?
Yes, you could.
Maybe I could have you guys all come over for the Baligian 4 double lot. No, but would you like legitimately sit and watch like the whole race? Would you like do that?
I was so young, so I didn't attention
Yeah.
span, but they did. Yeah, for sure.
I, did did you guys do that? Especially the dudes that are like in my age bracket. Now, you got to remember when I was younger, we didn't have all the baseball games on, let alone forget that. We didn't even have all the Tiger games on, right? We didn't have the plethora of options that we have today, right? But when the Indy 500 was on, like I was in my house. And there was one year it was 86. I think I had to double check to make sure I was correct, but it got rained out on Sunday, traditionally the day before Memorial Day. Then they were like, we're going to run it on Memorial Day. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll be able to watch it on Memorial Day. Then it got rained out, and they actually did it the next weekend. But it's kind of funny. Like, I sit back and I was like, how the hell did I do that for 3.5 hours? Just sit there and watch a race. And I think there are a lot of events. Let me give you another example, okay? And I mean no disrespect, because to some people, this is still a thing, right? The Summer Olympics are coming this summer. Zero interest.
Yeah.
Like, look at me, Blake. Zero interest.
Sean, we haven't talked about this because I don't think we've been like working together during an
Mhm.
Olympic time. I'm super anti-Olympics. I think they're the dumbest, biggest waste of money out there. I actually like hate the Olympics. I think it's stupid, and I'm not gonna pretend to care about cross country running for 2 weeks out of the 4 years. I can't
I
do it.
I can't believe I was so into the Olympics at one point in time. Like, honestly, I was. I mean, now granted, I've always been more of a Winter Olympic guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, even the Summer Olympics, yeah, I was into it. I'm not gonna lie, I was into it. I have zero interest in it. There's nothing
No.
that like makes me go like I used to love boxing, and I still do love boxing, but I don't have any interest in that.
No,
There's
it's
nothing about the Olympics that get me going.
such an incredible waste of money. It's insane.
Want to read some of these comments. Eric said never got into car racing. Nick said Indy 500 was such an event before the kart and IRL debacle. GW said love all the pomp and circumstance of Indy. I've probably watched 40 of them with my old man. I still dig it. Tim said I don't think I've watched the Indy 500 in 40 years. Brett said I used to sit and watch with my grandpa Saturday and Sunday golf. He was huge into it. Now I can't stand it. Rieger said Carl Lewis and Michael Johnson. Yeah, the world kind of stopped. Ben Johnson. Remember Canada's Ben Johnson and Carl Lewis, the 88 Olympics, and like the world stopped when that happened. Tim said, for me, it's boxing and basketball.
Even the
Jared said, I
basketball,
completely
even
forgot about the
nowadays.
Indianapolis 500.
Even the
What'd you
basketball
say, Blake?
nowadays, like Mich or I almost said Michigan. U.S. is just going to dominate. Like, I mean, it's a little bit more of a playing field now, but
I don't know. Yeah, I see the Winter Olympics. There are still obviously hockey for me, and now that the pros are coming back, the powers that be have been so stupid for the past 10 years. I mean, such a horrible, horrible, horrible mistake. Um,
mhm.
with hockey coming back, and the players coming back, that so absolutely overdue, and it should be the best and the best, and it's a crying shame that we haven't had the best versus the best in far too many years, whether it be Canada Cup, whether it be Olympics, et cetera, et cetera. So you got me for that. And I don't know if I've confessed this to you before, Blake. There's something I can't explain why, but I think it's called the biathlon. That's that one where somebody like is just like decides to go for a cross country ski,
And then they have the
like in the
gun.
countryside,
Yeah.
and then they like stop and they shoot shit, and then
Stuff.
they after
Stuff.
stuff.
Jar.
Damn it. And then after, like, okay, I just shot a bunch of stuff. Now I'm gonna go ski for a while, and then like at some point in time you stop again and go, all right, well, here comes some zombies. I got it. Like, I don't know why. I like that. That's like funny to me. Like, oh, look, there's the Terminator. So you have to shoot the Terminator, and then you have to shoot that zombie's head off or whatever. I don't know why I've always liked it. The hockey, that's just, it's the best. I mean, when
I
you
think
got the best,
I
it's the
think
best.
legitimately, I'm saying this from an unbiased standpoint. I think the hockey in the Olympics, when the pros are in it and everyone it's fully engaged, I think that's the best Olympic sport there is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like legitimately. Was
Um,
baseball ever like that? Like, did
I
they ever
never got
like
that. I never got that vibe. I just know it's so important to the Far Eastern nations. Like they just seem to put a different emphasis on it.
I feel
Um,
like Olympic baseball should
I
be
never got
like
that vibe though. No.
huge.
Yeah.
Like that'd be
I never
awesome.
uh, it's just, when it's a smaller tournament like that, it doesn't translate as much, I think, in other sports. I will say this though, the last Winter Olympics where the pros were allowed to play, it was anticlimactic. And that's why I'm intrigued now, because I think, and I'm not just saying this, I think the Americans could put a scare into anybody right now when you take a look at, the amount of incredible players that there are. But in 2014, it was unfair. Like, Canada was so loaded, nobody was touching that team. It was like a bad watch, because not only did you have this defense core for the ages, but you had Carey Price when Carey Price was the best goaltender in the world.
Yeah.
Before that son of a gun, Kreider took his knee out. It was, I mean, if you guys remember going back to that Olympic, it was like, what are we even doing? Why are we playing this? Like, nobody's gonna score on them, let alone beat them. Like, it was really that big of a difference. Like in 2010, it was awesome. If you remember Sidney Crosby, the golden goal, but that could have gone either way. In 2014, nobody was beating Canada. Like, that team was just sickening, and they played so well defensively, and that defense core was so loaded. And if you happen to get past them, there's Carey Price. And it was like, it was, to me, it was just uneventful. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of saw how it was going to play itself out. And what's intriguing about it now is you've seen other countries. Like, I told anybody to listen 10 years ago. Okay. And I'm serious. 10 years ago, when I did this international tournament, the Swiss are producing really good players, and they've got a heck of a system. We already know what the Czechs have done forever and a day. And, we just saw that in the World Championship. Germany's going like this. Not to mention, you can never count out Finland and Sweden and obviously United States and Canada. So I think the international stage has gotten better. So based on that, Blake, you're right. I mean, not only because it's me, listen, I'd watch any kind of hockey, quite frankly, but that is still intriguing. The Summer Olympics, it's coming up next month, dude. I got nothing. I don't like. I'll watch it if it's on, if that makes sense. Like, or if there's some storyline, but there's nothing that like jumps out to me. You know what I mean?
I can honestly say though, like you can say I won't. I legitimately won't turn it on. Like there would have to be like there's just no other channels on. It's just not interesting to me whatsoever. It does nothing for me.
Oh
I
my
wish it
gosh.
did, but it's just like it's just I can't fake fandom as we've talked about with the Lions. I can't do it. It's got to be
No, I
real.
get
It's
it.
got to be natural. And I like if I can't pretend to care about pigeon shooting. I don't know what I don't even know what sports there are. Isn't there breakdancing now? They got a bunch
Yeah,
of BS sports now
there was
too.
something.
They added
Look,
like all the X Games.
look at Rieger, by the way. I'm watching your show from the Grand Hotel parlor.
Mm.
Mm,
He's having a mint julep.
So baseball, just for clarification, baseball has been played as a demonstration sport in 7 different Olympics: 1912, 36, 52, 56, 64, 84, and 88. The sport was contested at each game through 2008, after which the IOC removed it from the roster of Olympic sports.
That should be an Olympic sport.
Yeah. So it was up until 2008 and then came back in 2020. So just for what it's worth, like I'm reading this right now. Like
Okay.
Japan won the gold in 2020.
But we don't
They
send pros, right? Like it's not like in hockey where they do like an all like the break.
Well, you can, yeah, you can't. You know, it's a bunch of former players. Like you should see
Yeah,
this list.
that's I know. I need teams
Like
taking
I'm looking at
breaks.
this list. It's actually pretty stinking funny, you know?
I want the whole MLB to take a 2-week break and just send
So
everyone to the Olympics.
Japan won in 2020. South Korea won in 2008. Cuba won in 2004. The U.S. won in 2000. Cuba in 96.
Yeah, Cuba's
Cuba in
probably
90.
stacked because like you have to defect to go to the MLB. So they're probably loaded.
I'm in. Count me in. Count me in. Wasn't there, no, you're right. Wasn't there some kind of break dancing that was involved? I don't
Yes.
remember. I don't remember what
Also,
Olympic breaking. It's in the Paris 2024 Olympics. Are you breaking is the only new sport making its debut. Breaking is probably better known to most of us as breakdancing.
no. See, I'm out. I'm out. I'm anti-Olympic.
Don't get it, dude. And honestly, I've said this 1,000 times. It's not for me anymore. No offense to anybody out there, but it was just weird how this came up because I used to be Indy 500 guy. Like, and then, you know, my buddies and I would roll over G-Dub. Here's one for you. We'd roll over to Rotary Park and ride our bikes around this big oval thinking that we were racing at Indy 500. You know what I mean? Eric said, seriously, they actually have it? Yes. It's new to the Paris Olympics.
But
I wish I was making that up.
Another event that used to be like must watch, speaking of baseball though, was like All-Star weekend. Like the game and the home run derby.
Can I explain this to you though?
Yeah.
I hadn't watched one in years until my baseball loving son, and I'm still trying to figure out how my son became such a massive baseball fan. Because I wasn't. I wasn't. Period. End of story. He turned me into a bigger baseball fan than I ever thought I would be. But Blake, when I saw how dialed in he was for the home run derby, and I saw how dialed in he was for the All-Star game, do you know what it reminded me of being a little kid? And that ever flickering light bulb in my head was like, yeah, I get it. It isn't about me.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't about you. It isn't about me. I mean, when I was a kid, I was pissed off because there was an era where the National League absolutely dominated the American League. And being in an American League city, right? I was like devastated at that. That was like a personal affront. So when Fred Lynn hit the big grand slam off of Atlee Amaker at Kaminsky Park and was running around the bases with his fist in the air. Fred Lynn did that for me, bitch. He did that for all those kids out there that were sick and tired of the National
But
League
also
winning.
back then, didn't the All-Star game decide home field for the World
Not back
Series?
then. No.
Okay.
Uh-uh.
That was the dumbest rule.
But it was, I'm not going to argue with that. But that's when it hit me. It's like, well, this isn't for me. It really isn't for me, which is, it kind of makes me laugh because if an idiot like me can figure that out, why can't MLB figure that out and maybe put the start time a little bit earlier? And I know it's the summer, I get it, and the kids aren't in school, but why don't you start it a little bit earlier so like the event's not going until like 11 o'clock at night? Since I mean, really and truly, it is about the kids.
Yeah, but I mean that's just the MLB and their archaic everything. It's horrible.
But I'll tell you what, you want to talk about, like, we could have a long battle over who takes the pistol out of their holster more often to shoot themselves in the foot, the NHL or MLB. We could have
It's
a
the MLB.
long
I think it's the MLB, and it's not even close.
dude.
The
Let me
NHL has gotten a lot better because they actually have a legitimate television deal now.
that man named Gary Bettman has shot off every one of his toes.
100%.
Every one
I
of his toes.
agree. I agree with you. But the MLB has shot off both of their legs with their
I will
joke of
agree
a
with
TV
you.
deal.
Hockey has gotten better. I will agree with
100%.
you. It wasn't that long
100%.
ago I would have said hockey by a mile, but right now I have to say MLB. It wasn't that long ago I legitimately would have said hockey by a mile, though. Just some of the decisions that they made. Hey, can I tell you about our friends, the Hanson brothers? Can I tell you about Jeff and Mike Husak? There they are, the guys behind the Wealth Advantage Group. And if you are ready to take charge of your financial future, you got to give these two guys a call. The Wealth Advantage Group, located in historic downtown Northville, owned by two buddies of mine, the Hanson brothers, right there with over 20 years of industry experience. They understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are. That's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning. Whether you're saving for retirement, you're getting ready to sell your company, you're already in retirement, it doesn't matter. They can help guide you through every step of your financial journey. They work with clients throughout all stages of life and have clients in over 20 different states. This is why you have to call these guys. Make the first move, because the investment world is a complex one. And if you're ready to start taking your finances more seriously, it's time to work with the experts. Great guys right there, the Wealth Advantage Group, 248-773-8574. That's 248-773-8574, or visit their website at www.thewealthadv.com. You will be glad you did. Support those who support us. Most importantly, take care of you and your financial future. That's what you'll get with those two guys. Eric said, stupid when all-star games determine home field back in the World Series back then. No doubt. Tim said, when we crossed paths for Joel Zamaya and Nate Robertson in 2006, I think he was there. Yeah, we did. Boy, we got tickets. I think in 04 is when we got our tickets. And man, I used to run into people down there all the time. It was fun. I had that Saturday package, Blake, back then, and I had appearances down at the State every Saturday. So it was great. My kid would come in and play on his Game Boy for an hour while Dad, got on the mic. Hey, everybody, how are you? Having a great time down here at the State. All right. Bears on special, 350. Don't forget, take my butt off, go watch the game across the street. It was great,
I do still enjoy having the home run derby on in the background.
I enjoyed it a lot better. I enjoyed it a lot better now that Chris Berman's gone. It got way too old. And Berman's a legend. I give Berman, like, seriously, Berman's a guy that, for whatever reason, maybe because it was overkill for him for a while, I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. I mean, he's a legend. And I can tell you on a personal level, the dude couldn't have been cooler. Like, I'm not joking. I did an event with him Super Bowl week, him and Tom Jackson. Berman couldn't have been cooler. Could not have been cooler. Tom Jackson blew my mind. What a nice dude he was, But let's face it, the back stuff.
Well, it was a once a year bit. It was a once a year bit.
But when you watch that once a year bit 10 years in a row and you felt like there was a chicken clucking in your front room, it got to be too much, dude. It did.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim said, yeah, I saw you guys in 2006 with Joel Zamaya. Yeah, I did an event at a baseball, like professional teach you how to hit type of place. And Zumaya was throwing gas like there. It was unbelievable. Like the pro hitting instructor there, he blew it by him. It was
really?
and then of course my son came up to hit and he gave him, just a beautiful, beautiful cheese sandwich, and my kid crushed it. So it was actually pretty funny. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes, he was throwing softballs about 80 miles an hour. No one hit one. Yeah, it was very frightening to see it. It really was. Jim asked a question about Trevor Bauer going up. Where was that question? Can you scroll up a little bit and find that, Blake? If Trevor Bauer was a hockey player, would he be playing in the majors? I don't know, but can I say this? Trevor Bauer should be playing, and I have no idea why. It sure sounds like they're trying to keep him out, at least if you listen to him. Why?
He's a fucking weird ass dude.
All right.
He's just weird. Like,
I'm not going to argue with that.
And why would, like, even if he's 100% completely innocent of everything that was alleged towards him, why would you want to deal with that nutcase?
He is.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, why would you want to deal? Because that's not his only baggage.
I would sign him in a heartbeat. I really would. I would sign him in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't even think twice about it. I think, if you are the type of person, if you want to win, then those are the types of things that you take that into consideration. If people are holding allegations against him,
but even if it's to a detriment of your entire clubhouse, because teammates don't like him either.
I would, well, that would be something that's, to me, a different conversation. That's something that I would talk to my team about, and I would talk to him about. However, that wasn't what kept him out of baseball. What kept him out of baseball was, quite frankly, an evil bitch kept him out of baseball, right? And she was caught.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, are you that bad of a guy that a league says we're not going to let you in the league? Like that. I mean, we all know stories of guys, and I'm not naming names. One day I'm going to name names. I am. Wait till my tell-all book comes out. Oh, am I going to be firing people under the bus?
I mean, there's names that are known, though.
Blake, I'm going to be firing so many people under the bus. I'm going to tell so many stories.
I mean, think about how many people, love Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Love Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little background research on Tyreek Hill. Not a good guy.
Bad dude.
Not a good guy.
Bad dude. There are a lot of guys that aren't liked. A lot. And I think that never stopped people from signing them. And that never stopped people from saying, he's a heck of a player. Maybe we should sign him. Does that make sense? I don't, the whole thing doesn't make sense to me. Listen, he's been his own worst enemy. Make no mistake about that. I'm not saying that you're wrong. He's been his own worst enemy. But I think what's happened to him is a farce. I just do.
No, it's a shame. But he's not a guy I would want to spend any great deal of time with either. So
no, I do. Like, I totally get it. I'm a simple thing. Okay, did this guy do something against the law? Is there something that we don't know about that he might end up in jail or something like that? No. Okay. Um, guys, or is this going to be a problem in the locker room? Nah, I don't think so. I don't like the guy, but it's not going to be a problem in the locker room. Can he help us win? Yeah. Okay, cool. Like that's my mindset. I'll sign you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a general manager. Well, cool. I kind of like winning. I'll sign you. You know, but it's interesting because I don't know. At least if you listen to him, many teams have expressed an interest, or at least the general managers. But when it's kicked upstairs, for some reason, people aren't interested, and that's always what I found interesting. You know,
I mean,
but
a similar thing happened with that Bills punter, and I don't think he's back in the league yet.
didn't somebody sign him? Didn't the kid from what was it, San Diego State?
San
Is that
Diego
where?
State, yeah.
Look
He
that
might
up.
have been signed.
Yeah,
It might.
I think
I'm
somebody signed.
thinking it was I want to say it was
Just
the Chiefs.
I think you're right. I think that's what it was, wasn't it? By the way, Edmonton won nothing. Thank you, Coach
Chiefs.
Hunter. I'm gonna, yeah.
Are
Let me
you
tell
gonna
you,
are you gonna eat crow about Edmonton yet? Because you said they were getting swept. They've been in
did
all
I
those
really say
games.
swept? Did I
Yeah,
really
you
say
said
swept?
4 or 5 games. Then they
Well,
won game 1.
I think I went on record in saying 5 when we did the show on Wednesday night. If they win tonight, I'm gonna have to eat crow.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to eat crow. Yeah, no doubt, because that would mean not 5. I thought they'd get smoked though this series. They play so well defensively. I got to give them credit. It's not their goaltending. That guy's awful.
Yeah.
Skinner's awful. Awful. They're playing so well in front of him. It's incredible, really. As Nick said, that Bill's punter was completely screwed. Yeah, look at that story. That's just
Yeah.
like,
But he's back in the league. So,
and it's so sad to me because I think it does such a disservice to the poor people out there that really have to endure
yeah.
those types of instances. It's so sad because then people don't have the ability today. We talked about this, Blake. People don't have the ability today, in my opinion, of saying that sometimes an area can be gray. You know what I mean? Sometimes there can be a gray area. Everybody just wants to paint with that broad brush, right? Like everybody's guilty or everybody's innocent or anything like that. Sometimes there are, you know, bad apples that are doing bad things to women or whatever the case may be. And you know what? Sometimes there are bad apples who are accusing guys of things they never did. And it's amazing to me when somebody, and gosh, I don't want to get too political, but there were some people, if you remember, always side with the woman. What was that? There was some kind of like thing, I believe her and stuff. Well, wait a second. That's great, but can we let the facts play itself out? To just say, I believe right away, isn't that kind of doing what you're against or what we should all be against? I don't know. What do
Yeah.
I know? Let's talk about Legacy for a minute. And did you know that
I drove
thousands of
past Legacy yesterday. Beautiful building.
they're fantastic. Thousands of Metro Detroiters have already called Legacy to get help with their home and auto insurance. Our friends at Legacy are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents, and they provide a full service, one stop solution for all of your insurance needs, personal and business, large and small. Legacy has helped our listeners by fixing mistakes other agents have made, asking the right questions to get the right coverage put in place to properly protect you. And yes, 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 save you some money at the same time. What are you waiting for? This is what these guys do. Let them go in, do the digging. You get the saving. Chances are, if you haven't checked your policies in the last year, you are paying too much and you could be underinsured. Let me reiterate. What are you waiting for? Give these guys a call. Put them to work. Get that quote. They can help you with your home, your cars, life insurance, Medicare enrollment, business insurance leads. Here's the number: 586 209 4106. That's 586 209 4106. Or visit legacypartnersins.com to get started with your new quotes. All right? Fantastic. Good stuff. And that's, listen, there are always going to be bad eggs out there, right? There's always going to be bad eggs out there. If you legitimately did something, you have to pay the piper. You have to pay the price, right? We all know that. I think it's too easy today to just jump up and down and assume that somebody is guilty from the get-go, because I think a lot of people say so. And sometimes that's not the case. And somehow with some people, somebody will watch this and get mad at me because I said that. Which I think it's insane. I'm not saying that this person is guilty. I'm not saying that that person is lying. Sometimes maybe we should just let the facts play out for themselves. But today, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to immediately say, oh, no. I don't want to rush to judgment, but I believe her or I believe him, whatever the case may be. I just don't think it's that easy, man. I just don't,
No.
All right. Tigers got you any excited at all?
You didn't watch the damn games. Stupid everything. I can't even stream them because I was using my parents' Xfinity login. Nah, that's no longer active.
See, Brett brought up something.
Have you watched that documentary?
It is gross.
Why?
It turns my stomach. It's gross. It's gross. I'm sorry. It's gross. That I feel sorry for those kids, man. That was, I mean, you remember it. You were old enough to remember while that was going on, right?
I was really young.
Those guys were tried and convicted in real time, right in front of your eyes. And you know what? They looked like they came from privilege. Quite frankly, they looked like douchebags. Am I allowed to say that? They did.
Yeah.
They and I think the way the public and a lot of media people crucified them in every way imaginable was just gross. It was gross. And, I know what the argument can be made. Well, they won so much money and everything. And, I mean, I don't know. Does that make it right? Right. You know what I mean? Oh, that was, yeah. Brett said the Duke lacrosse scandal ruined how many kids' names. They lost scholarships, were ran through the gauntlet, and they were proven innocent. Yeah. It's kind of depressing how that works itself out. It really is. So Blake, no, you're not. Tigers don't do anything for you. You're not interested yet.
Nope. Just waiting for college football.
See, I'm not going to make a deal with you about trying to get you in for the Tigers.
There's no deal to be had there, buddy.
There isn't. That's fine. That's fine. Listen, I can't do it.
You know what? And I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I'm making deals with you anymore.
Why?
Fandom.
Why?
Because you signed me to a 2-year. I only wanted a 1 year.
Your first place NFC Championship Lions. All right. So, okay. You know what? That makes me sad. So, you know what I'm going to do? When I'm sad, I make a deal that benefits you. I'm going to give you an opt-out on the second year of your contract. Are you ready?
Yeah.
If at any point during the 2024 season, the Lions are 2 games under 500, you can opt out. Yep. You have to express written consent me.
Yeah.
Dear Sean, I am utilizing the opt-out option in my contract. So I want out. So if the Lions start 2-4, you're out.
Okay.
Deal?
Like yeah.
Now, if the Lions win the division for a second year,
I already said they were going to.
Okay, then when that happens, then I, as the owner of the contract, I have the right to exercise a third year. And I will immediately slap the franchise tag on you, and you will immediately be in the limo 3 years in a row. I think that's fair.
Okay,
that's
but
fair.
I want an instant opt-out, even if that happens, if the Bengals win the Super Bowl. I want an instant opt-out for Joe Burrow.
All right.
I want the Joe Burrow clause written in.
Everybody is watching this. Everybody is watching this. If they are 2 games under 500 at any point in time, it is the player option. You can opt out, or you can say, you know what? I know they're 2 games under, but I still want to stay in. Your back rubs make me feel really good about myself. I'm still going to stay in, okay? But then at the end of the year, if the Lions win the division again, you get I can exercise the final year of the contract, and we can work on a negotiation next year, unless Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals win the Super Bowl. That's fair.
Then it's an automatic opt out.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's absolutely fair.
I like this.
That's it. See, you act like I'm not a giving owner. I just gave up something I didn't have to give up.
No, I don't like that you're just implying that you own me as a person. We outlawed that, Sean. Long time ago.
All right. So listen, if you want
I like
your
when
freedom,
I get you. When I get you, that's good.
William Wallace, you can scream freedom. Paint your face and scream freedom, okay? If the Lions are 1-3, you can do that, all right? You can go all Braveheart, all right? And I'll tell you it's my island, and then we'll all move on about our day.
Yeah, are you,
Deal?
Sean? Are you in on the Panthers? The playoff bound Panthers?
Do you want the truth? Yeah. I think that league is garbage. Sorry.
Yeah. I thought it was honestly better last year. The mergers hurt it.
Well, and here, okay, so here's the thing. You can't compare this to the USFL when we were younger, because the USFL when we were younger snagged stars and stars that weren't even stars yet, okay? These are guys that are trying to graduate to the next level or have fallen off from the next level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
No,
I mean, while yay Panthers, I can do that. I don't enjoy it. I really don't. Sorry.
No.
I don't. It doesn't.
I genuinely thought the product was better last year. There was like more hype behind it and everything.
Yep.
This year, it's just I think the mergers honestly hurt the leagues.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Well, as Jim pointed out, hold on. Jim said the Tigers' record in the city uniform is better than the English D's. Just saying. While the uniforms are awful, if it helps them win, wear them every gosh damn day. Are you kidding me? I'm with you there. Jason said, "Let Shauner take you into his bosom. You come on in." Those are good deals, dude. Those are good deals.
I think we negotiated fair terms there.
I think that's right. That's your opt out. If the Lions start to have the 1992 and they go 2 games under, 1-3, 2-4, you're out.
Well, when they lose week 1, I'm going to be feeling pretty good.
Why do you do that? Why do you do that?
You know that they're going to lose that game, though. Like what? Like, can we just get in the trust tree? Can we just get in the trust tree for a second here? Like, Stafford's going to come in the healthiest he's been in 2 years, and he's going to be pissed off, and he's going to sling that rock. It's going to be crazy.
Well, then, are you going to be sitting there rooting for a loss in week 2? Because there's your out.
Who's week 2 again?
How could you do
Tampa
that
or something? Their like first 4 games are actually like really tough.
Yeah,
really tough. So,
Nick said, "Sean, have you made it to the Memorial Cup yet?" No, I'm going this weekend. I'm doing a couple things out there this weekend. I'm going. What is it? The 29th. So I know I'm blowing out there Tuesday. I have an event that day, and then I'm doing something next weekend, but I'm still not 100% sure. I think I know, but I can't really say anything, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But no, I'm looking forward to it. Love the Memorial Cup. It's one of the best. I'll say to anybody who listens, if you're a hockey fan, you don't miss the Stanley Cup playoffs. You don't miss the World Junior Championship. You don't miss the Memorial Cup. You don't miss the college tournament. And I think those are things that jump out to me. Nick says, I still say Detroit takes out LA on opening day. I agree. I agree. Sorry, Blake.
you have your right to be wrong.
Rams, Bucks, Cards, the first 3. Rams, Bucks, Cards, Seahawks.
That's a tough first 4. Genuinely. I mean, they're going to smoke the Cards. Marvin Harrison probably won't even be signed.
I
What the
have
hell's going
Seahawks
with
on the
him?
brain from what they did a couple different times. I think you're selling the Bucks way too hard. Personally, I do.
No, I'm not selling them. I mean, they're not a bad team by any means. We'll find out very quickly if the secondary's fixed. Mike Evans.
Yeah,
That dude,
no doubt.
Mike Evans is so underrated. It's actually incredible.
Yeah.
Like, he's legitimately so good.
I do not see them going 1-3 in that time frame.
Neither do
I just don't.
Neither do
And Ben just said they're not dropping 2 of those games at home. I'm with you, Ben.
No,
You're in, baby. You're in. Then the only way for you, the only way, Joe Burrow's your only hope. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Joe Burrow. Those are your only hopes, okay?
Daddy Joey is going to save me as always.
All right, can I tell you about our friends at All About Catering before we get out of here? I'm going to go watch some hockey, if that's okay with you. All About Catering, LLC, is a full-service caterer. Graduations, weddings, bridal showers, corporate events, anything you need catering for, from 25 to 4,000 people, All About Catering will take care of you. Trust me, guys, I'm serious. Rick and his staff are going to take care of you because customer service and satisfaction is their number one goal. They've done great events for me, literally at my house. That's why I have no problem talking about All About Catering. Don't sweat your next big event. Just check out our friends at All About Catering LLC. Tell them that we sent you, please. allaboutcateringllc.com. See their menus. All their 5-star reviews are called 586-731-1398. That's 586-731-1398 to get your event started. Appreciate it. This is great. Look at we got spammed. Did you see that?
I see that.
That's awesome.
It's on Twitch though, so.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. All the Facebook people can't even see it. We just see it.
Kirk said 2-0 Edmonton. Wow. Jeez, oh Pete. I thought they'd get smoked. Kirk? Listen, I thought they'd get smoked. I openly admit it. All right. Anything else before we got out of here, pal?
Yeah. R.I.P. Bill Walton.
Yeah.
I saw that news and I mean, watching Pac-12 after dark college basketball games, betting on all those games and like just hearing him go on tirades, and I've listened to a bunch of interviews with him. He's a strange cat, but he loved the Pac-12, and I think it's very ironic that the Pac-12 goes away and Bill Walton is now no longer with us. And that's not even me being a joke. Like,
no basketball legend
happens.
On and off the court. I mean, so many people obviously remember him. I remember the beaten and broken down Bill Walton as a player, but crazy antics, passionate dude. Yeah, rest in peace, right?
Yeah, conference champions.
He was a crazy.
He was great on the mic. Like, you either loved him or you hated him, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was something different. Him and Dave Pasch, like the relationship they had doing those games late night. Like I said, it was fun to watch. Like, he was a character no matter what. So
yeah. All right, we got to get out of here. Todd, thank you to all of you. We have a busy week. We still have to figure out the schedule. I'm sure we'll do something tomorrow. Then I know Wednesday we're doing like a watch party, and then Blake and I do something Thursday, and hopefully Shep and I can reconnect Friday as well. In the meantime, Blake, good luck. All jokes aside, I hope the rain stays away from you and no more flooding for you. Okay, pal?
We can only hope.
All right.
It shouldn't be too bad. We'll get figured out.
All right. Take care. Peace. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Off the Air with Sean Baligian, featuring Sean Baligian and Blake Majchrzak. Produced by Todd Losey and Blake Majchrzak. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Play It Loud by Jam Studio. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the unsyndicated podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Off the Air with Sean Baligian on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.